Welcome to Peters Creek Grove. This may not be the best kept secret of the Bay Area. I mean, you can hear all about it online. It's probably the hardest place to reach, though. You have to drive 1 hour to the hardest to reach state park, then walk for a bit over 2 hours to make your way here. There is, however, no place like it, at least south of San Francisco. It's other places with old growth. Well, some of them are burnt out right now. The ranger said the redwoods kind of live to the reputation and are mostly still standing. But the ones that are closest to things, they kind of feel like theme parks. Not that I blame them. I mean, you want to bring your family, you probably need proximity to indoor plumbing and that sort of thing. This, you really have to want to come here to make it here. But again, there's no place like it. It manages to even be silent enough that you don't hear the planes flying over. The only real sign of civilization other than the trail is the reminders of a forest road that at some point crossed, followed the creek on the other side. But it's just like you're here, there's trees, there's water. It's a lot nicer than if you climb further up on a late summer day like today. And you're pretty much here on your own. It's, of course, well, the rangers don't often come to take these ones out unless it really stop you from making the trail. Well, okay, also a few words from our sponsors, I guess. Maybe a few places in Big Basin, once they recover from the fire, I feel a bit like this. Out of the whale trails following creeks. If you're not in the middle of a heat wave like the last time I walked there, a couple of days before the whole place burnt out, it's also a really pleasant experience. Still, I might be like the third and final person to hike this trail today. Weekends we'll probably see a couple dozen people making their way here. Today it's Friday, so not even so much. It was taking forever to rot out. Who knows when this fire happened, quite a few decades ago. Probably more. Sturdy bastards, the redwoods. So to make it here, you basically drive 1 hour to Portola Redwood State Park. Then the last chunk of road, Alpine Road, and the road that goes down to Portola is not the kind of road you want to drive through unless you have to. Narrow, curvy, not gonna go over 20 miles per hour unless you have a death wish. Great views though. Then you park, which is usually actually quite easy because, again, most people don't bother making it all the way here. Then you climb a hill. Then you climb another hill. Then you go very much down the second hill you climbed, and then more. The worst part of this hike is actually leaving, because there's basically a giant ramp that you have to walk up. I guess if you could follow the creek, except for the whole, who knows how things look like going forward, and also private property, it probably would be much easier, shorter as well. Of course, that also would bring in all the visitors, and we don't want that. Well, snobbish people like me don't want that. I just love when I have no idea how to cross this thing. It's probably coming here in the spring. You just basically decide that you're gonna get your feet wet. Also be very careful here. Rocks will get very slippery very fast. Well, okay. Even the bugs mostly leave me alone here. God knows they love me. Probably because of all the sweat. Hey, yeah, look at those fellows standing around for a few hundred years old. Not going anywhere, except maybe down. See, this is the remains of the fire road I mentioned, or forest road, whatever it was. As you can see, went on, probably hit a few homes, maybe a mile further down. Kind of sad that most of the old growth red was remaining, or just not profitable to cut down back in the good old days. every time you end up just under the redwood shade, things get slightly cooler. Kind of fun and very pleasant. Maybe the one redwood they cut around here. What was left of it. It's good to see these trees from a height because it makes it easy to realize how damn tall they are. It's just never ending straight up trunk. Kind of makes sense that you'll find the kind of nicest redwoods in places like this. On the steep hills, they don't have the most solid bases. Root systems are surprisingly small for a tree that size. So on the steep hills, eventually gravity will take care of them. And on the tops of the hills, wind will either chop off their tops or just push them out at some point. I mean, no, obviously not in any daily wind, but like big winter storms, that sort of thing. And being in a humid place means if there's a wildfire coming, they don't burn out so much that they would lose stability. Even if they are very resilient to fire, there's only so much that they can do. It's left the forest road. You can still see where it was back in the day, but pretty much abandoned for many years. And even then you can see that the fire came through a while back. Although around these places, even if there's a lot of fuel, they tend not to burn crazy. It's not like it's kind of the trees kind of get lapped. The fire advances slowly. If you're lucky, it pretty much looks like a prescribed burn, which is something that should be done more. The ranger at the parking lot, he was going around with a leaf blower. I think he's gonna lose that war. He did mention he has been working at Big Basin as well. And maybe like 9 out of 10 redwoods will just do fine. Getting back to green, growing again, which kind of proves that they've been doing this since the dinosaurs were babies. The rest of Big Basin, the Atlas firs, oaks, that didn't fare so well. Not that those areas are also kind of evolved to deal with fires, but just in a different way. They'll grow again eventually. Still doesn't mean we should let them burn too much. So there's a limit to what the forest can do. The drought continues. The trees keep drying out. Eventually they just can't grow up again. And we end up with different, more like grasslands and other places that very much are used to just burning altogether all the time. Look at this guy here. Big honking tree, and no one came all the way here and gave it a silly name. I'd appreciate that. Like seriously, that guy must have been around since the time of the Romans, or close to. That one that got cut. I can tell why. This is where the loop closes. But we're gonna let you folks see me close the loop from where I started it. And then I'll be slowly starting the way back. Hope you liked it. Not a lot of running commentary. I feel like the trees had far more to say than I did.